boys, one sec, Danny.
Listen to that, boys.
All good, lads. OK, Danny.
It's become a regular occurrence at this ground as Danny Richardson puts boot to ball to get us underway. Aaron Moore, the referee, as you'll have seen, and Jack Smith in the video booth. And I think Hulkington Rovers forwards have an intent in their hearts here tonight, Carl.
Yeah, I absolutely thought that would be the case. Just line speed, intent, aggression. I think for Salford, you know, one of the more obvious things that last week, the impact or the little impact that their bench had. Chris Hill starting at loose forward tonight in Olmerroyd, one of those players, he probably wasn't his finest game last week, but Paul Rowley gives him an opportunity to lay his marker down early on.
With three big middles, hasn't he, Paul Rowley tonight, with Olmerroyd and Singleton and Hill all starting in the pack. A reflection of the ferocity that is coming their way from the other side, the team in white and red, the home team Hulkington Rovers. So that at the end of the six, and Sneed is not in a position really to get a kick away, so they have to go through hand here, and Lafay eventually just dribbling it forward, and a bend of the back from Evalds, who finds a bit of room, and reflection again of Hulkington Rovers' defensive dominance in that first set, because they'll start only 15 from the halfway, and Evalds is not looking healthy here.
No, it looks a problem here for the fullback.
Tackle one. Time's
a lot
off.
of discomfort here, Dave. You can see the reaction of the players. As Salford, as soon as he goes down, they almost get out of there very quickly. It doesn't look good, this.
Well, as we say so often, thankfully infrequently, they get the very best medical attention on the field in situations like these. The medical staff simply take over. Referees taken out of the game. The medical staff insist that they get on quickly, and the game is stopped, and he will be getting the very best treatment down there as Aaron Moore watches on. And some concern from those Hulkington Rovers supporters as well, because they've seen a couple of their key players missing in these early rounds because of injuries, and you'd put Niall Evalds in that category as well. They'll be hoping, first of all, he's okay, and secondly, that he's okay to continue tonight.
Sure will. You know, you talk about so often we hear the spine of each side in the game. You're 9, 6, 7 and 1. Hull KR already head into this contest without Tyrone May, without Mikey Lewis, and potentially 1 minute in, they might even lose their #1 fullback.
Well, they've already got a disrupted backline with Peter Hiku and Danny Richardson in the halves, and you just look at the bench: Litton, Hadley, Whitbread, Tanganoa. There's clearly no obvious replacement if Evalds, and we say if Evalds has to go off, let's not jump the gun here, because he's sitting up here, he's looking a little shaky. I think at the very least it'll be an HIA here, so he'll be missing for 15, you would imagine. So just making sure that everything's functioning as it should be mechanically. But it didn't look great on first impact.
What are you doing, lads? HIA.
And that ripple of applause will turn into something a little more enthusiastic when they see the fullback walking off under his own power, but again not looking over healthy at this stage. So he'll get the full head check for the next 15 minutes, and here's what happened. Is there a swinging arm there? Or the referee and the video referee will have had a look at that. And there's no further action, I don't think. Or is there?
Jaden.
Oh yes, Aaron Moore is now backing away. Jaden Nikarima is being called in.
So it's been reviewed, and it is forceful and dangerous. However, there is mitigation, putting it from red to yellow. It's 10 minutes.
So Jaden Nikarima is in the sin bin for the next 10 minutes. Hulkington Rovers missing one of their key players, but Nikarima yellow carded.
Aaron Moore just saying he is falling, and there is a right swinging arm that catches the fullback high. So it is 10 minutes in the bin. Danny Richardson just puts boot to ball.
Between.
KR, they are straight into Salford's territory now.
Come on, boys.
Well, an opportunity here now. Let's just have a look at the reshuffle. It will be blindingly obvious at this stage how they've changed around, but it looks as though Batchelor's come to right centre, and maybe Broadbent is going to be switched to fullback. Anyway, that's for an interpretation when they don't have the ball. They do have the ball at the moment to the Robins, and an opportunity.
Move Brad Holsheen!
McAlorum out of dummy half.
Still two.
Just searching for any softness in defence down the middle at the moment.
Go third.
It's Warrior Hargreaves.
Still third.
It's a little step back on the inside again, and opportunities being offered, but Rhys Martin is dragged down. They're only 20 metres away here. They've still got plenty of tackles in the bag as well. As Maria Hargreaves takes in and tries to cause some trouble. But this is the last play. Here's McAlorum. Spinning it out. Little double pump coming from Richardson, and the drive is on for that line, and it will be found. And the referee will point the finger for the first time tonight. And the opening score, Tanginoa, who's only moments on the field. Hull Kingston Rovers' first try.
Yeah. Look, I have to be honest, the defence there from the left edge of Salford was paper thin. And Tanginoa, when he initially gets an arm on him, and then the defence just seems to fall off him far too easy. And Tanginoa, with his first touch, he's over for 4. Just watch this. Tanginoa, I think it's Mark Sneed in front of him, just gets rid of him. That's not this level, Dave. It really isn't. It's a horror start for Salford. Just look how easy he's able to get off that tackle. He's a big, powerful man, I understand that. But he's hardly arriving at speed. And he's able just to fall over the line, and Paul Rowley will be disappointed there with Mark Sneed's effort.
Well, he does often have an impact off the bench, but to have such a quick impact is unusual. Not in the circumstances he would have wanted to be on the field, but my goodness, he took the opportunity. And Rhys Martin now has a chance to add the conversion. What a start for Hull Kingston Rovers. Martin settling himself. Hits it well enough and finds the sticks. Well, he wasn't perfect with his goal kicking on the first week here, but he started off well here on his second home game, and this is the way that conversion attempt came from.
Yeah, you're right, Rhys Martin, only 1 conversion out of 4 attempts in that 1918 win over Castleford, but Willie Peters won't care about that. His side have got off to a blistering start. It was Salford, the right back rower, Callum Watkins, who got a try 3 minutes in last week. Well, this time it's the right back rower, Hull KR.
And off we go. Sneed with a kick downfield. And Salford have only touched the ball once so far, and they once set a 6 to their name. But they find themselves under the pump, with Hull Kingston Rovers looking for a bit more here. Burgess with a push.
Move off the ball. Hold it now.
McAlorum. Added only half. Arms raised. They felt that could have been quicker than it was. Salford's defence moving in snappily and tidily, and in fact a little over-muscular and in too long in the end, and the penalty goes Hull Kingston Rovers' way here.
And Brad Singleton just in there too long. And the play before was pretty slow, and then Aaron Moore just decides that too long in there, and they've given away a penalty off the back of conceding points. The start is getting worse and worse for them.
The ball drops on the inside by Warren Hargreaves. Very nearly dropped the ball itself, but managed to hold on.
Go 1.
McAlorum comes wide. Here comes Tanginoa again.
Shane off the ball.
Oh, they're chewing up the yards with the help of that penalty.
Goal 2.
The Robins back inside enemy territory by a distance.
Straight on, Jack.
Playing it quickly. There's been some complaint from the coaches this week about the opening couple of rounds, the speed of the play of the ball. Well, this looks pretty swift at the moment from Hull Kingston Rovers' point of view. And Martin with a grubber kick. It's a turn and a chase by... well, in the end, it was put out of play by MacDonald, and it had to be.
And the kick there from Rhys Martin. It looks like he's going to run the ball, and then just decides to thread it through. And then MacDonald, with Joe Burgess breathing down his neck, just decides to whack the ball dead. And Salford, who are going to have to defend another 6 here.
Stay behind, lads.
Well, Mark Sneed had a little habit of going short with dropouts last week against Leeds. I wonder if he does something similar here. He's watching the shot clock, so he can take every second out of this situation. Now it gets down to 5, and now he will take the drop, and he has gone with a little bit more distance this time to give his defensive line a bit of breathing space. So hammers it in. Challenge set again. McAlora has to just get out of the way of the tumbling Sue.
Keep it quick now, Brad.
Ray Hargreaves. Salford's defence have got it all on at the moment.
Find space to find it.
They are being asked a lot of tough physical questions. McAlora.
Still two.
Sending it left. And
still two.
Good play from Minchella with the thrust and the offload. And then the pass is a difficult one, but it finds its way out to Ollie Gildart on that left-hand side. And it is back-to-back tries for Hull Kingston Rovers. They have absolutely stamped their authority on the opening 7 minutes here.
Well, you mentioned pace and power, Dave, in the build-up, and it was all there. The evidence was all there. Just hard, direct carries, generating ruck speed. Salford, they just can't cope with it at the moment. And then the ball off a wonderful offload finds its way over to Ollie Gildart. They got a try here last time in the home win over Salford.
Yeah, I've got you. Just 2 seconds.
Scored another one.
First try of 25 for Ollie Gildart in the Super League.
You just see there the offload. They move the ball. You get a little bit of luck there with Reece Martin just turning it up.
Yeah, on that one, yeah.
But it's so quick.
Cheers, Russia.
And all the defence has to come and protect the middle. Well, the space ends up out wide and Gildart slides over.
Hiya, Jack.
All his problems last year with injuries, didn't he? Missed the grand final. Missed the last couple of weeks of the playoff season, did Ollie Gildart, but
I'm going to speak to him next.
Bang at the start of this year.
We're about to speak to them, and I won't be holding back if they're going that slow again. So I'm going to speak to them.
Reece Martin. Right on the touchline edge. They don't make it easy for him, but
yeah, I will.
Such is his ability and reputation.
There,
you'd normally back him. See what the kick predictor reckons. 66% probability of putting this one over. Little crouch. Iconic step back, high knee, strikes it well, hits it. No. Just drops wide. So 10 points to nil. They're scoring at over a point a minute.
Yeah. Slow rucks though, I'm really talking to
again, they just can't cope with the pace and the speed of the ruck.
Mate, one that I'm trying to speak to you, it's slow, Jack. You as well, I need it quicker, I need it quicker.
Space, there's just so much of it out wide because they just cannot hold the middle.
Let's speed it up, boys.
It's too quick.
Time off. Okay, Mark.
As Mick Joe Burgess was hovering on the outside, hoping he was going to get a pass there because it would have been a walk-in for him, but it was a walk-in for the centre, so why give up the opportunity?
Ollie Gildart, he hasn't scored since last April, so he was never going to let that one go down.
Right, goal one.
See with that initial carry. Kingston Rovers just setting themselves again here. Aided by a penalty last time to get them downfield. There's a bit of untidiness from Ormonroyd in the ruck, but the referee says unintentional, so play on. Gildart into that dummy half position. Ray Hargreaves along the line. Salford's defence is out smartish this time. Cutting down the options of Hicker.
Hold it now. Go for
McAlora. Ray Hargreaves. Just his reputation goes before him, doesn't he? I'm sure he's pretty high on the tip sheet of every team that will come up against them. Hull Kingston Rovers this year.
Outside.
Outside the 40. It looks a bit long, this. Looks as though it might go dead, and does. And that's a bit of a mistake because Salford handed possession back with 7 tackles to play with from the 20-metre mark.
Yeah, it's the first time they'll have touched the ball in 9 minutes, Dave. Salford, they'll get a 7-tackle set. Dion Cross just looks to get it going for them.
You surrendered, Dion. 0. You surrendered. 0.
Home sellout again here tonight. Terrace is absolutely packed. They're in good voice. They're in good heart at the moment. Like we said, opening 2 rounds. Not necessarily the machinery running as smoothly as they would hope, but a win is a win is a win, and especially as you said, at this time of the season.
It's just about getting points on the board, you know, come the end of the season, no one remembers the early rounds, and the penalty's been given away.
That's a terrible one to give away from Nenny MacDonald.
It's such a poor start. It really is, Dave. It's been ill-disciplined, it's been sloppy, it's been weak.
Just a grab of the leg there, you can see that. And instead of Salford being able to finish in a positive fashion, they now find themselves back to the walls again here. With Hull Kingston Rovers poised with purpose. Ray Hargreaves, the Kiwi international, with that first carry.
Hold it, go one. Okay, that is on
McAlorum bringing it wide right. Sue striding over bodies in his quest to make ground.
Move!
The bend of the back by McAlorum again. Then Chella to Richardson and offered back on the inside for Martin with a skip.
Move!
But they've still got
all boys third.
3 tackles to go here. Oh, Martin looks as though he's hurt now.
Still third.
Then Chella coming back towards the middle. Martin's just held his hand up. I think he's saying to the physio he's okay. Hull Kingston Rovers, though, are in a lovely position here. McAlorum feigned left, dances right. Richardson puts it out there. Little ball away and into the corner for the 3rd try of the night. Tom Davis this time. Hull Kingston Rovers are running riot with barely 13 minutes played. They've got 14 on the board, and my goodness, they look sharp.
They sure do. We're absolutely flying here tonight at Hull KR. We questioned about perhaps not the most convincing wins in the opening 2 rounds, but 12 minutes in, 14 points, a try down the left, a try down the right. And this time it's McAlorum with the slight rock at the hips there. Danny Richardson just releases Hiku. The catching pass there to get on the outside of Theo Cross. And again, there's nobody in front of him. When he catches the ball, Tom Davis, it's just too easy.
Hey, Jack.
Well, a reflection of the fact that Rhys Martin is hurt. He's actually gone off Rhys Martin. Danny Richardson taking over the kicking duties here, as you can see. Well, they're leading by 14 points to 0, but they've had a little bit of misfortune, haven't they? Martin's gone off. We're still waiting to give you the definitive answer on whether Niall Evalds is coming back on, but they'll be happy with this lead given what's been going on.
They sure will, and Danny Richardson converts as well.
We're just getting news, by the way, that Niall Evalds will not be coming back on tonight.
Well, that's what makes this blistering start even more better for Hull KR. Sorry, as we just see Tom Davis's try once more. The fact that they've got no starting halfbacks, or first choice halfbacks, if you like, then they've lost the fullback 1 minute into the game, and they've been able to rack 16 points up in the blink of an eye.
Well, their fullback and their goal kicker both retreating to the sidelines. We know Evalds definitely not coming back on. We'll wait for any news on Rhys Martin, and they started the night without their 2 first choice halfbacks. Tyrone May and Mikey Lewis both out injured, so the squad depth is just being tested a little for the Robins in this the 3rd round of the season.
It's coming up trump so far, Dave.
Goal third.
Oh, there's an error there from Gerald Hargreaves.
First knock on. Well, this gives Salford a bit of an opening in the game for the first time now.
It sure does. This is the best attacking opportunity they've had in the opening 15 minutes, and it's an error. The NRL veteran Gerald Hargreaves, big signing for the Robins this season. Just spills the ball and gives Salford an opportunity. 40 metres away, slap bang in the middle of the field.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's see what they've got here.
Okay, boys,
4 numbers.
1 second, Ryan.
Attacking numbers to the right.
Hold it, Danny, don't go early. Clock off now. Okay, ball in.
Pick off a 4v3. Here he comes.
Okay, play on. Yep,
here he comes.
There's an opportunity here now for Nenny MacDonald, who's carrying it close to the line, but is held up. But what a chance here for Salford, and boy do they need it just at this moment. 5 more plays to have a real go here, and they'll be hoping to make an impact. Hill steps away, throws it inside to Atkin. Here's Ormonroyd. Atkin back up there just to organise things out of dummy half. Hill's involved again, trying to find a path. Stopped by the boulders in his way, grabbing arms and legs and knees and putting him down. Atkin closed down quickly by McAlorum, who came firing out from behind the rock.
Stand up, go.
So that's one play wasted.
Still 4.
It's with Sneed, who puts the kick in. They're trying to get there, and Batchelor decides not to take any risks and sweeps it out of play. Drop out underneath the sticks here.
Had a bit of both there, Chris.
If Batchelor had enough time to collect that ball and try and get out of the in goal, he wasn't taking any chances.
Behind, boys.
A little.
I was going to say, put yourself in that position.
Mickey, touch quicker than
what are you doing? Picking it up and running 100 yards?
From you there.
No, I'm knocking it away. There's a little, just had me eye there on Jarrell Hargreaves and Chris Hill. Those two, just keep an eye on that one. Usually some games between those two.
Oh, good heavens,
Come lower here, Jared.
England, New Zealand down the years. Well, back it comes with Singleton. Two redoubtable characters in that position, aren't they? Were Hargreaves and Hill. This is
it was a chance there.
Was it knock on? Well, the referee
knock-ons. First one,
will
Salford.
call back Burgess.
2 knock-ons.
It seemed to open up there for Callum Watkins, but he just can't quite take it in. Well, I think, sorry, it was Easton Masters.
Can it?
Just to reiterate, by the way, that Hulkington Rovers, having lost Eddolds to a head injury during foul play, means that they can bring their 18th man into the reckoning. So we could be seeing Sam Luckley at some point. Doesn't exactly help with filling the numbers in the back line, but at least they get an extra interchange.
Yeah, it's an extra body to rotate the middle.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Heads in, boys.
So we have a good year last year.
Oh,
there's a little bit of
shot clock off.
Minchella. An Void.
There's a bit of chat there, wasn't there? Did you have a good year last year or something?
Head in, hold it. OK, ball in now. Ball in, Danny. Ball in.
Richardson feeds. Scrum breaks. Hulkington Rovers looking to attack straight away.
Move one.
That's slow.
Stand up, you're holding on to his arm.
Davis eventually unplucks himself and gets himself out of that, but Batchelor runs into a wall that refuses to give in.
Goal 2.
McAlorum
still 2
along the line. It's a little untidy. Minchella picks it up.
Move, hold it! Hold now!
McAlorum again. At some point he'll disappear and let them come on, of course, freshen things up.
All the way, Sam.
Knock on. Knock on in the tackle. Salford get a chance again here. Ball back in hands on the halfway line.
Time off.
Captain's challenge.
Jack, we've got a captain's challenge. Hull KR are challenging the ruling of a knock-on. They believe the ball's stolen.
It's tackle 4, it's captain's challenge. Hull KR are challenging the on-field ruling of a knock-on. Don't see the ball on that angle. So if the one from behind gives us anything else, this one will probably be our best angle. And we lose the ball on that, we can't see it. We'll lose vision on that one. Try camera 5. It's a hand near the ball by Atkin. Is there a pull in action? Is that hand at the back? See if this angle gives us anything else. Right, this angle is the one where we can see it. Chris Atkins' left hand is on the ball at this point. There is a clear intent to steal and reef in action by Chris Atkin. The challenge by Hull KR is successful. It will be a ball steal penalty to Hull KR. Hull KR retain the right to challenge.
Well, successful challenge, and for my money there's only been 2 of those so far this year, and both have been against Salford for ball steals. Leeds had one last week when the referee initially gave a knock-on, but Salford are collecting an unwanted at the moment, in that successful challenges are going against them, and Hulkington Rovers, instead of losing possession, have a penalty here and can set up wonderful position, Kyle.
Yeah, and so far when they've got down this end of the field, David Kimmer where he points, it's again, I call the performance for what we've seen so far as sloppy, ill-disciplined, weak. And once again, just Atkin just can't resist just to do his job and make the tackle. He has to have a pull for the ball, and you see here, 25 metres away. The Robins once more.
Here's Sue barging in, taking his side to within 15 metres of where they want to be, and it's another steal, I think.
It's Atkin in there again. They just cannot cope with the physicality of the home team.
Some discussion going on here. Oh, they are going for the 2.
Smart call.
First choice kicker still off the field.
Danny Richardson is a quality goal kicker. Slap bang in front of the posts. There'll be a 2 points for sure. 18-0 this will be. And a quarter of the game gone. And they are under the pump of the Red Devils. They have no answer for it.
Good news, we're being told, from a Hull KR point of view, is that Rhys Martin had a bang on his hip, but he is now back on the bench. So, keeping himself nice and warm, but he'll be hoping he's involved again as the evening goes on. Richardson with his second success of the night in Martin's absence. And Hull KR lead now by 18 points to 0 with 20 minutes played. And there's different sets of circumstances that Salford have found themselves in the last couple of weeks. But they have been conceding a lot of points, whether it's the youngsters or the more experienced players. And it's a pattern that is continuing here at the moment.
Yeah, 22 points followed by 32 and now 20. And only a single score that Callum Watkins tried 3 minutes in last week. It's ugly at the moment.
And Hulkingston Rovers are filling their boots just at this stage.
And they're being ruthless, going about the job exactly what's needed to be done. Willie Peters will be delighted with the start. Joe Burgess takes over now, 54 games for Salford. Here tonight wearing the red and white of Hull KR.
There's Barea Hargreaves.
Move back, hold it, boys.
McLaurin again. Some of the bigger units waiting on the outside, including this fella, Sue.
Move coming up there on a neutral, Peter.
Touches ground inside the opponent's half, and Richardson to clear with the kick. Bounce is awkward, but dealt with by Braley, and the chase is good, and the push is there as well. And Salford start at their 15 from their own line with a lot of hard labour to do here.
Yeah, decent set after points there for Hull KR with the ball. Just nothing flash, just get through the set. Big kick away from Danny Richardson, and then trying to invest their energy into this part of the field. Defensively, just restricting metres, winning contact.
Led by the latest carry, but they've not cleared the 20-metre mark. There's about 5 or 6 yards they've gained in this set so far, and it ain't getting a lot better just at the moment.
Move, don't flash, he said, don't flash, go 4.
Looks at the moment as though they're going to be kicking from very deep.
Still 4.
Tiaki Chan now out there, and this is tackle 5. 20 metres made in that whole set. Mark Sneed with a huge boot.
Clear wrap, clear wrap.
Ashley, who's on the field from the interchange bench, chasing him down quickly. It's collected here by Davis, who looks to return with an element of swiftness and puts his side on the front foot.
Move, Carl!
Not too far from the halfway line.
Come on, Carl, quick!
209 metres last week from Tom Davis. A try, and he's got one this evening already so far. And you bet if this keeps up, he'll probably get a couple more.
Move all the way!
Finding a bit of go forward again down the middle. Well, Ray Hargreaves just let that one fly past him, and Tanginoa takes on the responsibility. 2 plays to go. Hull Kingston Rovers digging deep again. Little dummy shown on this right-hand side. Lovely stuff from Hiku.
Go 5.
Hiku up and plays. Back for the boots of Richardson, and claimed safely enough by Easton Masters. But again, very close to their own line here, Salford.
Yeah, just asking Salford to really roll the sleeves up and try and find something. If they win a penalty, or they need a little bit of luck here. Really struggling to get out of their own end. Watkins takes over now down that short side on the right edge of the field.
Still got the ball. Still got it, third.
At the moment, looking awfully comfortable from Hull Kingston Rovers' point of view. Salford needing a response, and quickly.
Well, they've made a double change. Singleton and Hill leaves, and Sangare and Joe Bullock want to field to try and provide some kind of impact, and penalties given away, and that's exactly what they needed. Just a little lift of the legs there between Maculora and Jarrah Hargreaves.
It's a warm welcoming committee, that, isn't it? You look up and see those two coming at you, your heart doesn't fill, does it?
Disappointed. Peters there, just after all that hard work they did, two of the most experienced blokes out there, giving away the penalty.
Masters with a tap, Sneed with a pass, Atkin wide, but no way through for MacDonald.
Ollie Gildart read that well, double defended.
Watkins looking to lead by example.
Goal 2,
nice quick play, the ball from Chan, almost too quick in the end it was. Atkin was unable to get there in time, he's fumbled, Hull KR Rovers celebrate, they get the ball back again, and there is very little for Salford to smile about so far tonight.
They're miles off, Dave. They're miles off where they need to be in this contest. Missing their assignment there, Elliot Minchella does really well to get round and force the mistake there from Atkin, arriving late at the play of the ball. But just when you think that 25 minutes in that you might get to see perhaps a decent set from Salford, they can't even get past play 2.
Don't go early, boys.
A side that can sizzle when they are in form, that can
make no mistake about that,
burn any team from any point of the pitch, but we've not seen that so far in this game or much in the last game against Leeds either.
Oh, their edges when they are on, and when the middle unit are holding up against their opposition, they can beat any team. Make no mistake about that. But when they're just losing the arm wrestle, losing the ruck, losing the speed of the play of the ball, there's not an awful lot that they can do.
And it is relentless Rovers at the moment. There's a man who thought he might have been warming the bench all night, but luckily gets his chance. As 18th man, as explained earlier. Minchella across the line, Hadley comes squeezing in from the left.
Move all the way, Itiake, all the way.
One play to go. Litton on the field. Back to Richardson. Sends it sky high. Huge up in the air. Bodies tumbling, and the referee kept a beady eye on that. And has said there was interference on the way through on the Hull KR Rovers chasers. And it'll be a penalty.
I'm lost for words here, Dave. They are just absolutely imploding by the Red Devils. There's just no need for it. No need for it whatsoever.
Who, Danny?
And they're going for 2. Danny Richardson's full of confidence. And a significant moment this as well, because this will give them a 4-score lead. As implausible as it seems at the moment, 3 tries and 3 goals will get Salford back level, but they need even more if Richardson puts this over.
Well, Danny Richardson will be relishing this opportunity with those starting half-backs out. Of course, round 1 he was over at Huddersfield Giants on loan in that loss to Warrington. He finds himself in this team, a run of games, and you can just see Joe Burgess being taken out off the ball.
Was it Eastern Masters? It looked like Eastern Masters, isn't it?
It was, yeah, just needlessly gets caught up in that.
Well, the Hull KR Rovers fans are loving this. There's no tension in the air, is there? And if you'd have done a vox pop of those Rovers fans before the game, I think they would have expected something a lot closer than this.
Yeah, no, well, we were talking about it before a ball was kicked. We were unsure how this contest was going to go. Expecting some kind of backlash from Salford as Danny Richardson just puts another 2 on the board.
Well, they signed Reece Martin to kick goals, but Danny Richardson is showing that he's got that talent in his bank as well. And even with Martin off the field at the moment, Hull KR Rovers lead now by 20 points to 0.
They need to find something and find it quick. Mark Sneed restarts us off.
It's moving away from can they get back into the game towards damage limitation at the moment for Salford, isn't it? Things can switch around. We've seen it so often in Super League down the years. 30th year of Super League this, of course. Where games can change dramatically, but there's no sign of that just at this stage.
No, there isn't. There's no sign of it whatsoever. However, you mentioned Salford, they have the players there, they have the strike. They just need to find a way back into this. Have a passage of play, just some time on the ball.
Hole 4.
They're not even touching it at the moment.
Michela rocks it in.
Hujo!
One play to go. Richardson taking over that quickly because Litton getting the chance to go a bit wider to put that kick towards that touchline side. So Briley's hunted down. As soon as he got that ball, he had very little room in which to work because defenders were up there in his face. The tussle is on again.
Move here, Elliot.
From Salford's point of view.
He's rolling, go 2, shorten your 10.
To end the set, they've not ended many sets on a positive note, have they?
No. Hole 3.
This is Bullock.
Boo, square!
Underneath Bullock.
Hole 4.
Atkin, Sangare to his left, but he's gone further left to Sneed. And
still 4.
Riley's involved as well. Here's an opportunity for Latvai to show his fancy footwork, and he's done brilliantly well. And now it comes to MacDonald, who switched to this side of things, but a swarming Rovers defence has closed things down. Here comes Sneed. Watched carefully.
Hey, on no effect.
Jack Broadbent, who by the way is making his 100th career appearance tonight.
Move together now!
Jack Broadbent.
Play! 1, Joel's good.
Penalty for the high shot. Well, they're making it easy for Hodgkinson Rovers in gaining metres by the mistakes and the penalties they're giving away here, Salford.
Yeah, it's been a terrible performance. And Joe Bullock, the latest to give a penalty away. He shakes his head. He's caught the man high. Tom Davis it was. You see.
Well, you wonder again, you know, without making excuses, just how much of a hangover that whole takeover event has been, and whether the club really has had a chance to settle properly since the new owners came in.
Well, it doesn't look like it. It looks like there's still a problem underlying there, but hangover, maybe.
Hole 2.
Here's Litton.
Hill 2.
Surge by Whitbread.
Move, Chris, get in!
Given the opportunity to play inside their opponent's half on the back of that earlier penalty. Michela.
Still third.
Still
third.
Oh, he's been good.
Driving run.
Yeah, he's been powerful. Challenging through the middle of the field.
4. Hey, on still 4.
Skip and a jump by Litton, and he's halfway through before he's eventually dealt with. There's one play to go. Minchella's scampered up there. They're going to that left-hand side. Richardson gets it away. Little kick to the in-goal area. Briley does deal with it, but can only concede the dropout. There's nothing else he could do there. And Salford again are going to be under another wave of attack coming against them, you'd expect, from this dropout.
Yeah, it was Danny Richardson this time. He just digs into the line, throws the ball out the back, and it's Broadbent who just challenges Briley. You mentioned there about that hangover. Well, nobody's going to feel sorry for you in the Super League. This is round 3.
Shot clock off.
There isn't going to be any let-up.
Well, they're going short, Sneed. There's a chase on, and they have got it back again. And there is a stroke of luck as Nicarima is able to pick up the pieces. Well, the short dropouts do work every now and again.
Yeah, they do work.
Move, hit the line.
Sneed and Jaden Nicarima.
Hole 2.
The short dropout favours them. We're just seeing now the three-quarter line getting involved. Then McDonald, Masters.
Hole 3.
And here comes Tiaki Chan. Good footwork there from him.
He's on loan from Wigan, of course, for the season, Jackie Chan.
He's hurt himself here.
Hole 4.
He's not looking healthy, is he? As play continues without him, Sneed now will take it on there on the 5th.
Nice.
1 to go. Hankinson
go 5.
taking over the role of general at the back of the ruck. Karima eventually gets it away. Briley sticks it up high in the air. There's bodies colliding all over the place again, but Hodgkinson Rovers have it back. The referee says play on, and Davis settles things down.
Nicarima just gets caught from some brilliant defensive work there.
That's knocked on. Knocked on by Davis.
Who fouled and lost it?
Just see him on another day. I could have went against him, but Tom Davis Loses the ball and his shorts.
Well, Davis can have no arguments about that. I mean, Sangaré.
10 seconds, 1, 2, 3.
Again on another
Could have been in trouble.
Could have been in trouble.
Now. Heads in. Shot clock off. Don't go early.
Get away with
Ball
it.
in, Ryan. Out.
Braley feeds. Here's Sneed. It's just a posse of Hulkingston Rovers defenders are over there to marshal the situation very quickly.
Move square.
But Salford have a chance, and Salford have a position. What can they make of this as Bullock just galloping in?
Pull 2, on 2.
Hulkinson again. Nicarima skipping, but stopped.
Who's together now?
But they still have 3 plays to go here, 15 metres out. Hankinson will have a dabble himself.
Move square.
Alan Watkins is in there to take over the role. Nicarima now helps it on. It's Sneed. Short and flat. And bullying effort by Wright, but Hulkingston Rovers defence is not to be bullied, and Wright has knocked on. And well, if you're counting mistakes that Salford have made so far tonight, you might need a new piece of paper before long.
Yeah, you mentioned as well earlier on about their inability to end sets well. Here's another example, the latest in the catalogue of mistakes and ill-discipline. He's not able to hold on to the ball and just loses it.
Kicked. Ryan's going to come here,
Hull KR
okay, boys, we're ready.
off the
15
hook.
seconds.
15 metres away from their own line.
6. Okay, bang your heads, boys. Bang your heads. Don't go
read body language, and they just look bedraggled, don't they, Salford at the moment.
Ball in, Danny. Out.
4 minutes of the half to go.
Nicarima, play 1.
For once, then.
Missing his assignment. Looks up for it there from marker on Burgess.
Well, Burgess looks as though he's hurt now, just holding the knee, but he's okay, is he? Just a little question, but he's going back out to his wing. He's going to be okay. Lytton at dummy half. Showing a go. Hiku got rattled by Lafay.
Paul boys, Joe! Paul 4's moved forward 4.
And Cello back on the inside. Luckily,
difficult
gathered in.
Hey!
I think he might be looking at his teammate and saying thanks for that.
Paul 5.
Lytton will kick.
40! Hiddles! Hey, on now.
Ready with a tick.
2. 1.
Joe Burgess is just getting a bit of treatment in back play, but
Pull 1.
just had his backside tapped as if to say, you're okay, and Salford have made another mistake. It's another mistake and another opportunity in the dying embers of this first half for Hulkingston Rovers to set up position to increase their superiority.
It's McDonald this time. The pass is an awful one.
Is he now?
Dipping.
Okay, they're all ready. Time off.
Having said that,
make sure you hold it, boys.
His quality should be able to take that in.
2, 3, 4.
It's another mistake for Salford.
Boys, 10 seconds.
And it's another weight of possession that they're going to have to defend on their own line inside the final 3 minutes.
Fall in. Back on.
Apologies, by the way, for any offensive language you might have picked up there. This is an opportunity now which Broadbent's going to try and take himself, and is in danger of being dragged out of play, but teammates to the rescue. Davis now. Looking on the inside. Richardson with a high reach. Offering big back now for Whitbread to push and challenge again. Lytton at dummy half. So many plays, so many opportunities here for Hulkingston Rovers. The direct route is tried, and luckily still going. My goodness, the power and the effort has taken him close.
Goal 3.
Lytton throws it back, another bullying effort down the middle. Salford's resistance remains.
Goal 4.
Lytton.
Still 4.
This is Hiku. Hiku tries to size them up with a left foot step. He was looking for the potential offload for Broadbent, who was there, but wrapped up. Last play.
Don't go early.
Lytton. Grubber into the in-goal area, and good sweeping up play at the back there has given Salford possession and a little bit of position there. Briley did well.
A neat pick up there from the full-back, Ryan Briley. Right place, puts himself in a great position to defuse the threat of Jez Lytton's kick. And again, Hull KR just really happy to turn the ball over here.
Salford, you stalled it. You stalled it, Deal.
Final minute of the first
Still
half.
Oh.
Salford rendered scoreless.
Move, all right. Hull 4.
Hull KR just
Hey, you're off,
a little bit harder here. And get a couple of opportunities just to...
Well, they have a penalty.
Yeah, you're already there.
Penalty given away.
Already there. Wait a second. Maybe Jens Litton, you've been called me.
Mark Steed is quite anxious to get on with this. Maybe gives his side an opportunity. 2 or 3 plays with what's left of the first half.
Yeah. Hold off on our time, remember.
Here's Sangare.
1. Move all the way, Jez, all 8.
Here's Hankinson.
Hull 1.
Steed again with a little shuffle. Nikarima's left the ball behind. It's going to be picked up, and already a threat here from Gildart.
Move, 0.
Salford dropping on him, and the hooter will sound, and that will be the end of it. It's a ripple of applause and appreciation from a Hodgkinson Rovers crowd who cannot believe they're seeing their side so comfortably in the lead at half-time.
Yeah, if I'm honest, they should be perhaps thinking that they could maybe have had even more points, because they've not really had much to play against, if I'm honest. But take nothing away from Hull KR. They started brightly, the forward pack lay the platform, and the tries out on the edges means the scoreline here stays at 20 points to 0 at half-time, Dave.
Well, it hasn't all been roses for the Robins, because of course they lost Niall Evalds with a head injury in the very first minute. He's gone for the game, and in the absence of a couple of other stars, they might have worried. But they needn't, because in the absence of Nikarima in the sin bin, they scored twice. They've added plenty more. We've got full analysis coming up very shortly on what has been a fascinating night so far. So far this season. Maybe this is a little more one-sided than we expected, but loads more to come. Lee against Catalan, 7:30 tomorrow on Sky Sports Action and Sky Sports Plus. And also tomorrow you have the choice, that or Huddersfield against Hull FC on Sky Sports Plus. Saturday, Wakefield against St Helens in the afternoon, 2:25. And then at 8:30 on Saturday night, it's the big one. Live from Las Vegas, Wigan against Warrington, starting a run of 4 matches, including, of course, England's women against the Australian Gillaroos through the night and into the early morning. But it all starts with Wigan Warrington, 8:30 on Sky Sports Action and Sky Sports Main Event. And then on Sunday, this is not one to turn your nose up at either. Leeds against Castleford, 2:55 start, that too on Sky Sports Plus. So what a feast we've got to look forward to in the next few days. This is not quite the competition we expected so far in this game. Things could change in the second half, but Hull KR 20, Salford Red Devils 0 is the half-time scoreline, and Kyle Amor is going to run his eye through the first half action.
Yeah, well, look, I don't say this lightly, Dave. I actually think that's probably one of the worst halves of a rugby league performance I've seen from Salford. And it was Tanginoa 3 minutes into the contest, do some really, really paper-thin defensive display there from the left edge, and Tanginoa just gets over before we see the ball wonderfully offloaded here. Minchella through the middle of the field, and then it finds its way out there. Reece Martin with a nice little turn-up, catch and pass, and Ollie Gildart slides over for the second 5 minutes later. Again, that picture of Minchella just offloading the ball. It's just been able to happen far too easy. The middle unit of Hull KR have just won the contest in every single department as a forward pack against what they've been put in front of them. But then Tom Davis slides over in the corner. 5 minutes again after that, and it was 3 tries, and that took the score to, I think it was 14 or 16-0 at that point. Worse than a point a minute before Danny Richardson just knocked a couple of penalties over and took us to 20. And I think Salford will be sat underneath us, counting themselves lucky. They're only 20 points behind. The number of tackles that Salford have had to make, more errors. Yeah, one-sided.
Yeah, meters tells a story, doesn't it? Tackles made tells a story. Only 4-2 in terms of errors, although it might be more than that, but Hull Rovers dominating territory when you look at those play-the-balls in the opposition 20. Can Salford turn it around in the second half, or do Hull Rovers march to their third successive victory of the season? Well, we'll find out all the answers in the 40 minutes that are forthcoming, and we'll start those in just a few moments' time.
One very special day coming up from over here. We're on the Strip in Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, and home on Saturday for a rugby league extravaganza. 4 live matches for you on Sky Sports, 2 from the NRL competition, of course, a women's international game, and then a massive clash from the Super League as the reigning champions, the Wigan Warriors, take on Sam Burgess's Warrington Wolves. You will not miss a minute of this extravaganza action with us on Sky Sports. Make sure you can join us from 8:30 p.m. on Saturday.
Well, he wouldn't be wearing a short-sleeve T-shirt on the gantry here at Hull tonight, I can tell you that. But my goodness, what a gig he's got, and what a weekend we've got. What a Saturday, live from Vegas, Wigan against Warrington, kicking it all off at 8:30. We've been watching some of the social media stuff that's come from there. Have a look at Sky Sports Rugby League to get a bit of a taste of what's been happening there. Wonderful stuff. And that's followed by the Raiders against the Warriors, and then Australia against women, the Gillaroos against England's women. That's about 2 a.m. And then the Panthers against the Sharks at 4:30 a.m. Make sure you've got the coffee pot boiling through the night for 4 wonderful games for a wonderful occasion for rugby league. And this is really good stuff as well. They went behind the scenes, camera crew went behind the scenes with Wigan in 2024 and filmed all the ups and downs, more ups and downs of course, with the winning all 4, and you can see 3 of those episodes from last year, and it's fascinating viewing, by the way. There is some fruity language in there, so that's why it's on a little bit later, but if you have got youngsters, just be wise to that. But we are Wigan Warriors on demand right now, episode 1, that went last night. Tonight we are Wigan Warriors episode 2, Trouble in Paradise at 11 o'clock, and tomorrow night episode 3 at 10:15. If you miss all those tonight and tomorrow, you can get those on demand as well.
Deep behind the scenes of that all-conquering Wigan Warriors last season, all 4 trophies in their trophy cabinet, but here it's Hull KR, of course, beaten in the grand final against the Wigan Warriors last season. They'll be hoping that their team can put together a more ruthless, second half and head towards another 2 points early on in the season.
This place buzzes on match night, and it ain't buzzing at the moment, even though their side are leading by 20 points to 0, simply because it's been so easy.
It's just been like a training ground session. It's so often you get in pre-season they open it up for fans to come and watch, and that's what it feels like here, and that's largely because of Salford's involvement or lack of involvement. Really, they've been absolutely miles away. Let's hope that Paul Rowley and his coaching staff can rev his side up and get them to come out the blocks, because 20 points, Dave, is as daft as it sounds what we've just seen. If they can get an early score, it's not in the realms of Salford to come back and get it, but on the evidence of the first 40 minutes we've seen, it could probably get a little bit more ugly before it gets better.
Yeah, not a lot of peril so far for them to endure. The biggest pain would have been the injury in the very first minute to Niall Evalds, which has seen him depart for the night. Oh, what have they got? What have they got in this second half, those Salford players? Callum Watkins leading out his side. There's lots of experience in there. There is a lot of talent in there as well. They'll know that they've let themselves down so far in this game, but they'll also know that they are more than capable of making up for that in the second half. But Hull Rovers have a lead that at the moment looks more than healthy. And if Salford are to upset the apple cart, they have got somehow to unbalance Hull Rovers. They're looking to make it 3 out of 3 in the opening rounds of Super League. Castleford here, Wakefield away, and now Salford here. Saints away, coming up for Hull KR in the next game, and Lee at home as well, and Huddersfield away, so challenges wherever you look. They've got in the middle of that. They've got Oldham in the Challenge Cup as well.
Two typical games.
What a story Oldham are at the moment. A resurrection under the leadership, the stewardship of Mike Smith and Sean Long.
Yeah, boys. A couple of difficult away games in the league there for St Helens and Lee. But for now, it's the next 40 minutes.
Here we go. Here we go. Some imponderables and questions to which we'll get answers in what remains of the game, and there looks to be a little more intent here from that Salford defence straight away. And there needs to be.
Yeah, that's better there, led by Alan Watkins. Joe Burgess now just tries to open the field and get towards that middle. He can't, he runs into the shoulder. Justin Sangare.
Is there a potential for softness from Hull KR in this second half, because they might feel job done, they might feel that it's been easy? Well, it's made easy again. Another penalty.
Joe Bullock again, just giving away a penalty. A needless one at that as well. I don't think Willie Peters will. I think his message will be actually, you know, get after this game a little bit more. We kind of took our foot off the gas for the last 15 minutes.
Come on, boys.
Talk about points difference. And clubs have got to catch St Helens at the moment, haven't they? Class Saints are running at what, plus 120 odd after their 2 big wins.
Well, yeah, we know what happened in round 1, which was disappointing for the competition, but take nothing away from St Helens. They had to do what they had to do. Any other club would have done the same.
6 again.
Another set of 6. So restart to the tackle can on the back of a penalty. Hull Kingston Rovers are being gifted yards.
Police one back up.
Lytton.
For 1.
This is Minchella. Hiku down the middle.
Good footwork there from Petter Hiku. Gets rid of Bullock.
Pull 2.
Lytton picks up and carries left. Minchella to Lockley. Lockley, who will be glad he warmed up properly before the night began, because it wasn't long into the game that he was pulled up from 18th man into the 17. It's with Minchella. Richardson offering it back towards this right-hand side again, and Tanganoi proving to be a handful. It's a one-handed pick-up which gives Lytton the chance to really attack the line. And 1 play to go. They look left behind Hadley, batted on by Richardson into the hands of Burgess, but things are closing down quickly for him. A scrambling effort in defence from MacDonald with the help of Masters gives Salford possession back.
15 metres away from their own line, they had to do probably another 6 more tackles in that whole set, giving away the penalty in the 6 again. Just putting more pressure onto themselves.
Pull 1.
Hankinson operating out a dummy half. Mellor, one of those who's missing, of course, at the moment, Joe Mellor, who in that role last year looked very decent, didn't he? Joe Shorrock's another one who's missing, Ethan Ryan.
I think they've missed Joe Mellor. I think they've missed him getting out and challenging in and around that ruck. You know, Chris Atkin, he doesn't really provide that. He's a lot more safe. And Joe Mellor certainly makes you accountable as a middle defender.
Hankinson. Chan. He'll be hoping to catch the eye of the Wigan staff this year in Salford colours. Putting himself back in contention. Taking on a step or 2, but they've left the ball behind, and it's an easy drop for Kalepi Tanganoa. And an easy reclaim of possession again by Hull KR.
Execution of skill. Wasn't where it needed to be. That pass was way behind. And Hull KR just transition defence into attack. Ryan Briley can't take it in. And once again, they find themselves on the back foot.
I mean, that was their trademark last year, wasn't it? That connectivity, that ability to run freely and with confidence, and every pass sticking, but not tonight so far, as Hadley takes it forward again.
Move!
They look like they haven't played together.
Go first
this evening.
Lytton left. Oh, the sliding gap opens up, and Jack Broadbent, on his 100th career appearance, scores the try that takes Hull Kingston Rovers ever closer to that finishing line.
Jack Broadbent. Take nothing away from him. It's a wonderful finish. The defence, Dave. Oh, I'm struggling for words. I really am. This is a horror show from the Red Devils. Just watch how easy this is.
We've had 2 in 4 minutes.
Oh, it just gets in between Nicarima and Eason Masters. The space just opens up. Nicarima just gets caught bouncing on his heels. Masters fades out. Jack Baldwin delighted with that try. And it's so ugly from the Red Devils. So ugly.
Well, I'm afraid to say, if you're a Salford fan, I think we've reached the point of saying, by how many?
Yeah. Just those pictures there. You know, it all starts off with that Tanginoa try and how easy it was for him. I didn't think we'd see an easier try this evening. But that's another level. You can see they're all having an inquest in there. They'll be just as bemused as me and you stood up here, Dave, what we've witnessed this evening.
Paul Rowley, Kurt Haggerty with a cap on sitting next to him, and there'll be some confusion and some concern about what they're watching here at the moment, but take nothing away from Hull Kingston Rovers. They are doing what they need to do, and they're doing it efficiently and very well, and are building up a very healthy lead here. Still to see Rhys Martin to return to the field, if indeed he is going to return to the field, but Richardson puts it over, and Martin's certainly not being missed in the conversion department, as Hull Kingston Rovers take it to 26 points to nil.
You just see Jack Broadbent's effort gets his rewards. It's 26-0. I might be calling this one a little bit early, Dave, but Hull KR, they've never won their opening 3 games in the Super League. Is this tonight the night for them?
And back they come with more to offer this Salford defence, making the Red Devils roll up their sleeves constantly. Gildart push back. Good response from Salford defenders on that occasion. Lytton comes out. Luckley using his bulk. But again, that's a good meet by 3 defenders.
Do not go early, Tiaki, third.
Lytton.
Oh, third.
And Chella offering it back on the inside again. Tanginoa.
Oh, move back up, all 8.
Lytton.
4. Okay, that's
Hadley came on at pace from that angle, but defenders quick to meet him, so they're on the last here. Lytton will kick left-footed.
Tie, Danny!
Briley. Ian Briley with a catch.
Good now.
Look at that line that's coming up there. Look at that line. And there'll be some appreciation from this effort, because Salford, having got the ball 50 now, are actually pushed back inside their own 10.
Yeah, wonderful pictures there for Willie Peters. His side just sprinted down, not giving Salford a sniff at all in this contest. Get numbers in there again.
Move, hold the line. Stand up.
Jared Warrior-Hargreaves is back on the field.
Hill 2.
And Manchella having gone to the sidelines.
Move, Danny, all the way, all Danny. Oh, first.
Hull Kingston Rovers fans just enjoying the night at the moment. In relaxed mood and singing their songs. And watching their team restrict Salford to the barest minimum in go forward. Bullock.
Move all the way.
1 to go. It's going to be a kick. Sneed lets fly.
Side, give 10.
Kicked a couple of 40-20s last week, did Mark Sneed, but been given an opportunity to direct it that way so far tonight.
No, play on, goal 1, that's okay.
Just about recovered his poise there, Jack Broadbent.
Who do? 4-2,
news from the touchline is that Rhys Martin is now track-suited up, so will not be returning tonight.
Well, there's no point in risking anything if there is a slight little knock or niggle. Not in this, not tonight.
Oh, third.
That's Warrior-Hargreaves. Yeah, if you told Salford before the night that Ebbels would be gone early, that Rhys Martin would be gone in the first half, that Tyrone May didn't make the night, they already knew that Mikey Lewis wasn't going to play. They'd have been encouraged, but it ain't turned out that way.
That's what makes the win even more impressive.
Joe, get in, you're off, Joe! That's okay now.
Last play. Broadbent with a kick towards the corner. Hadley's off on the chase, but it's Mary MacDonald who gets there. And there's a push from the Salford defender as Hull KR were on the chase.
After the play,
so the Robins get a penalty.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lusher.
Again. ill-disciplined, soft.
Get out the ruck.
Everything that you don't want to be labelled as a professional rugby league player operating at this level.
No, mate.
It's been disgusting.
Just got a penalty on it,
thrown out there this evening, Salford. Yeah. And again, there's not a lot of it. It's not like you can say that they've been sort of beat on talent, if you want to call it that. But every one of their mistakes, every one of their lapses in concentration is all just come as a choice. You have to be willing to move, be willing to meet the contest in front of you, be physical when needed. And they've not shown anything of that at all over the opening 49 minutes.
No need to even consider the kick at goal. They just want to inflict more physical pain down the middle on Salford here to Hull Kingston Rovers. 26 already, it could be beyond 30 in just a moment, the way things are going. Luckily with a charge and still going. He's eating up the meters after contact.
6 again!
Another set of 6. Here's Litton. Litton goes out and reaches and scores. Well, the ball was snipped away. The try is given. Hull Kingston Rovers have yet another. Whitbread, I think, who's claiming it. Litton went out of dummy half. I think it was Whitbread on the end of it.
No, I don't think I can put the boot into Salford anymore this evening. I'm just going to focus on all positive of Hull KR. After the penalty that was given away, they win a 6 again through wanting to play the ball, through wanting to put their opposition under the pump again. Off the back of the 6 again, Jai Whitbread just gets rid of a defender, swats him away, and just puts that ball down for another Hull KR try.
Well, penalty gave them position, or helped their position.
1 minute, Danny.
And that's where it ends. They're just giving up so much here, Salford, tonight, aren't they?
Like I say, Dave, said an awful lot about them. Let's pay credit to Hull KR.
Well, just have a look at those Salford players there standing by the side of the sticks. There's not a lot of conversation going on, is there, amongst them?
What can you say, really? He's been absolutely destroyed.
Well, the kick goes wide. Kick goes wide, so at least there's just a little relief from Salford's point of view.
Whitbread stretches out.
Well, the opening weekend of the season would have been a painful watch, was a painful watch.
I think this is
for Paul Rowley, but he knew what to expect that day because of the team he put out. Like you say, this is worse tonight, isn't it?
It is.
This is very close to a full-strength Salford side.
And
we're just in on the rock.
I'm absolutely speechless in terms of what's out there and what's been put on show.
Off the ball, Joe! Pull 2.
Concern written large across Paul Rowley's face.
Pull 3rd, play on!
We're off again.
Your 3rd.
Litton though.
It's a head injury.
There's a couple of Salford players who clashed there
Is he up now?
and have stayed down. I think Chucky Chan looks like he's the one who's come worst off. Hull KR continue.
After this one,
Despite that, Gildart.
5.
The referee will stop the clock now because I think the doctor's on the field.
Chucky Chan and Easton Masters, Dave. Easton Masters on the 40-metre line. He looks groggy as well.
Pull 5 there, boys.
Perhaps a little bit of friendly fire as they get involved in that tackle.
Pull 5 that, boys. Tackle 5.
By getting a bit of treatment.
Tackle 5 that, Chris.
Chucky Chan also, and there you see, clash of heads together.
Yeah. Ball for them.
Squid, stop the last fire.
There'll have to be some changes here, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Looks like Chucky Chan is heading off for that head assessment.
We know the process, don't we?
Yeah, Chan being helped out, so he's
going for HIA.
for an HIA.
Yeah, just
15 minutes for that to be assessed.
Chris Hill's going to take his place.
Lafay looks less lively as he's been taken off, so he might have been much worse off in that clash. It never rains, but it pours.
Chris Atkin comes on, and Chris Hill for Lafay and Tiaki Chan as they get the necessary treatment they need.
1 second, boys.
So Salford reduced in numbers in terms of frontline players by 2.
Are they all off?
You see in the background there, Niall Evans, who went off much earlier in the night with his head injury assessment, which was failed. And Mikey Lewis down there as well.
Go 5.
Oh, the kick is charged down, and Nikorima's after this. But there are 3 Hulkingston Rovers players who are back there, and they managed to rescue the situation, and it goes back to 1.
Just dive on the ball. Nikorima, you're there, dive on the ball. Beaten to the punch.
Pull me, Shane. Pull 2.
Here's Lytton. Davis having a carry.
All that. Pull 3rd.
Lytton again. Waria Hargraves just thumping it down at the middle.
Off the ball, Carl. Put his arm, go 4.
Across the line. Sue rather, having a push.
Move. 1
play to go.
5.
Back it comes for the big boot of Danny Richardson, hanging it up there, and
chase.
Salford gathered in by Cross, but nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
Cross takes that.
Hack up, Jai, 1.
It's met by 2 and 3. Red and white shirts. Line speed here. It's a Hickey who tries to throw himself into it.
4-2.
A lack of bounce, a lack of vibrancy from Salford as they bring it forward again here. It's a side that normally displays a real kind of cockiness, and I mean that in the best possible way. You know, that kind of self-belief against disadvantages. The underdog always fighting hard, but not so far tonight. Sneed.
Still 4.
It looks like there's 1 or 2 players who'll just be staring down the field at that clock.
5.
Hoping and praying it gets to 80 minutes a lot quicker than it is.
Sneed just belts it, but across quickly comes Broadbent, and here's Burgess and Davis. Oh, what a hit! Yeah. What a hit. Was that Hankinson who came flying in? Salford have it back. It's all over the floor.
No advantage. Put the first one, knock on.
We love the tries, but we love the hits.
Yeah, Hankinson just blindsides. Davies.
Where do you want it? Here. Holford ball.
Catches him off guard.
Vegas, are you ready? Because you'll be seeing loads of those.
This side, mate.
An evening, that'll be Saturday night.
Ryan,
I cannot wait for Saturday night. I've not looked forward to a Saturday night in as much for years. And what a Saturday night in.
Oh, what an experience for all 8 of those teams involved in that bumper extravaganza over in Vegas.
You pulling an all-nighter, Kyle?
No, balls in.
Are you going through?
Yeah, I think I'll try my best.
At your age, you'll do well. Salford are looking to pull themselves back into this game by their bootstraps at the moment.
I think there'll be 1 or 2 of those players doing it all night tonight. Reliving this game in their heads.
Shane Wright.
Who? Jez, don't go with the ring in. All that.
Chris Atkin back in that position again. Here's Sneed. Offering it away to Nikorima with a little dummy. He's got a bit of zip and sharpness, but not enough to get through that ribbon of defenders.
Still 3rd.
There's search this side again here in the shape of MacDonald at the end of that passing movement, but he's cut down by Gildart. Gets it away though. This now is Brierley. Brierley's trying to make a looping run to create space there, but
hold it now.
Again, defenders Batchelor on that case, right on his case. Bullock
still 4.
Trying to bounce away from what's coming at him, but can't do so.
Brilliant work there, Jez Lytton. Seen that pass coming, shut it down. Last tackle.
Sneed sticks it up there, end over end, spins in the air. Safely done by Broadbent, back in that full-back position.
And what's surrender? Hender tag.
He's all over him.
Pull back to the line, surrender. Hold one.
And quick work from Masters. And with the help of Hill and Bullock,
These two.
Hull Kingstown Rovers are driven back a yard or two.
2-all-8. Hold two.
And this is better work here from Salford.
Yep. Attitude and aptitude at this stage.
Third.
In this set. Batchel up.
Oh! Who do? Hold four.
Lytton.
It's your off! Hey!
Another driving
Move.
effort from Jay Whitbread.
Yeah.
Lytton gets that kick away despite the pressure, and well, I was just about to say that Salford could pat themselves on the back for what they did in that set defensively, and then that happens.
Yeah, when it's not going your way. It really isn't. Ryan Brierley so often very safe under a high ball, Dave.
Where do you want it, mate?
Just has a little look, perhaps, about shifting that ball on as soon as he catches it. And more frustration for the Red Devils. A brilliant set defensively. It's took them 58 minutes to put it together. That's the disappointing part.
On
the end result, it's just another mistake.
On set, Danny. 2, 3,
well,
4,
Salford
5,
fans
6.
don't have nightmares. It doesn't happen like this every
5,
week.
6.
Well, there's enough talent out there to think that things can be resurrected.
10 seconds, bang your heads, Dean head in.
2 weeks with a full team,
off,
1 week with a young team, and
out.
It's been pretty poor so far from their point of view.
One. Hey, don't mark. Pick him up.
Lytton bounces in. Hull Kingstown Rovers bouncing forward again. Aiming to create some more strife here for their opponents.
Goal two. Okay, that's two.
Lytton. So
who do? Hold third.
Here's Lytton. Rhea Hargreaves. Right down the guts of it, right down the middle where he's played most of his career. Right at the heart, the cold face. Lytton goes out, little double pump, and they are in again. And Whitbread, well, I think he's learnt the lesson. Wherever Lytton goes, make sure you're not far away, because he now has a second, and they're up to 34 points to nil.
So easy. We talked about the team in round one. Paul Rowley's got Castleford away. Now we'll be thinking of putting some of those young kids back in, because this, when we started 17 out there, sorry, just hasn't been good enough at all. Look how easy this is. It's training ground stuff. Jez Lytton just gets out, pumps the ball, he's able to beat the markers, inject a bit of speed in there. The defensive line just get up, 1 metre hold. And Whitbread goes through with not even a glove on him.
Well, when the paperwork went through on the Salford takeover and the RFL signed it off as all good, there were smiles on Salford fans' faces that we've not seen for quite a few months. There was talk of stability, the first time they've had stability for a long, long time. But that is now being replicated on the reverse by what we're seeing on the field.
Time off.
No doubt they can maybe bemoan the short turnaround there, but I'm not buying it.
Back on.
Richardson's kick is good. 5 out of 6, 36 points to nil.
I think there's something bubbling away for Salford. This performance and last week, nothing like the Salford side we've seen over the last couple of seasons. It really is, and it's so far away from it.
Well, there's no fight. I mean, we've seen them lose games and we've seen them play badly, but this just looks very uncharacteristic. The restart is causing problems.
Lateral boys, hand over.
So they will get possession back again here for Salford. They're only 10 metres out, so there's a chance.
just Chris. Wait for me, Chris.
Chris Hill will play this.
Hair up, Jack.
Atkin bounces right. Sneed inside for Watkins. Callum Watkins with a gallop in. 5 away. Is this a rare moment of something delightful from the Red Devils? Sneed. Hill again, caught in possession. Chopped down at the knees by Hiku's challenge. Atkin and now Bullock just trying to blast their way through and between defenders.
Square line, third line.
Atkin again stands and waits. Sneed, the pass is poor. And it just shuts down a little bit of the momentum, and it means that Wright has got work to do, but goes lateral rather than forward. They've lost ground. Atkin. Singleton. That was a forward pass. Forward pass.
Thanks, mate.
It's another error.
Miserable.
It's another error, but just
miserable from Salford's point of view.
Just in a different way, Dave. We've probably seen everything that could possibly go wrong in a game from one side. It's a forward pass from Singleton. I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to just get his middle of one-on-one and create something, but he can't execute the skill.
What is behind this?
I don't know. Head in, Cal, head in, boys. All day. Okay, shot clock off. Paul in now. Out.
Something not quite right.
The short turnaround, but it's only the second game of the season for all these players.
Yeah, no, but it's a surrender.
What was served up last week and this week.
Tackle one, play it, surrender.
And this is a team that a lot of people enjoyed watching last season.
We love watching Salford.
Yeah, absolutely. When they are on, they were brilliant. So entertaining. But this is just so far below the standard that we've used to seeing and the standard that's acceptable at this level. Penalty again. It's comical now.
That's way too slow.
You can also almost see the life draining out of Salford players at the moment.
Then to a surrender.
Penalty for Hull KR. They are on a high.
It's perhaps the easiest game they'll play all season, this.
Both surrenders though, then.
Because they're not having to really exert any energy whatsoever. They're being gifted possession and ways out. I think there's only been one set where they possibly had to roll their sleeves up, Dave, and that ended in that Ryan Briley error. Off the kick from Jez Litton, deep inside his own half.
How the rock, Carl!
But other than that, it's just been one-way traffic. 6 again.
Hold test me, boys! Come on!
Murray Hargraves pushes and takes his team close to that halfway line. Here's Litton. Penalty. Penalty.
Yeah, rightly so.
Chris Hill is sin bin here.
Penalty. 6 again. Penalty.
Well, Chris Hill absolutely frustrated with that decision, but I'm sure frustrated with the whole night tonight. Salford will, for the next 10 minutes, be down to 12. First 10 minutes they were down to 12, but even when they've had 13 on the field, it ain't looked great.
Well, I need a response.
This is a car crash, this.
Okay, ball back up.
A horrible performance.
Yeah.
So Hawkins the Rovers.
Get out of there, Brad!
Looking to apply a little more poise and polish. They've crossed that line often enough so far tonight. And they're looking for another that will take them into the 40s round.
4-2.
Litton. Hiku. Out it goes. Patted on. Did it take a touch? Yeah, knock on. Salford player touched it, so it will be Hull KR who get it back again.
6 more.
Do you want to challenge it?
Just see who comes off the left arm there.
Time off, Jack.
Dion Cross.
Got captain's challenge.
Captain's challenge. Captain's challenge. Let's hear from the video referee.
Yeah, 1 second, it's just challenging it, yeah.
It was tackle 2. Salford are challenging the on-field ruling of a knock-on touched in flight. It's this pass here. So one off Dion Cross. We've got anything from the corner angle that might give us a little bit more. Right. Ball is passed by Batchelor. You then see the ball change shape and rotate as it goes past the finger of Dion Cross. Let's just go to camera 4 to check the direction after it has touched Dion Cross. So we've established that after it's passed, this has touched Dion's cross. And that ball goes forward relative to the ground. The challenge by Salford is unsuccessful. It will be a knock-on against Salford.
Well, the miscreant was Cross. The coach will be furious, because he would have known he touched that.
I was just about to say, I really like Dion Cross as a player. I think he's very underrated. But he must have known that that ball has hit his hand. It's more of a desperation challenge than anything else. It's unsuccessful.
No challenges remaining, mate. Yeah, touch.
Lost the challenges. No challenges remain because that was unsuccessful.
Over here, boys. Shot clock
Not that it's going to have too much impact on the way the game ends.
Yeah, just there, boys. Yeah. 1 second, Danny.
We've really struggled to defend this part of the field of the visiting team.
Yeah, you only need 5 there, yeah. Heads in, boys. Head in. Hold it, boys. OK, shot clock off. Ball in now.
Register another score here, Dave.
14 minutes remain.
Come. Hoovy's on off the ball now. Pull one bit from Ollie, that.
Broadbent throwing it back towards the middle again. Little dummy shown by Richardson, who wriggles his way very nearly through. It's just about held up. Litton's there again. Salford defending back on their own line. Hulkington Rovers hitting them with loads of intent here, but losing the ball. They are catching the mistake problems. Broadbent letting it slip as defenders rushed in his face.
Well, if he catches this, they're in. It's a 3-on-2.
Yeah, I'll get to in a minute.
So Nene MacDonald just gets high up. That ball over the top would have been on. Whether Broadbent would have been had it in his artillery to throw this pass over the top there. You can just see Burgess being an acre of space. But it matters not because Broadbent's unable to take the ball in.
6, don't go early, boys. Only need 5 yet. OK, heads in, boys. Hold it,
So
Dean.
Salford get relief because they have ball in hand. They've got 6 tackles to clear their lines as much as they possibly can. Singleton with the initial carry.
Move square! And there, goal 1.
Tiaki Chan just getting back out there, Dave. Obviously past his HIA's Joe Bullock. Gives way.
4-2.
Watkins.
Head. Move, all 8. Ball third.
Just hurled back towards middle. Sneed.
Still third, OK, still third.
Having it on his way to Briley. Briley's thrown a pass behind all 3 of the men on the outside. And Salford find themselves in the perilous position of running out of tackles and very close to the touchline, very close to their own goal line. And again, it's another disconnect that you do not associate with this Salford side.
This ball, it just goes to nobody in between.
If he was trying to miss all 3, he couldn't have thrown a better pass, could he?
Yeah.
Hand over.
Just look at, they haven't been able to get anywhere. They've gone 10 metres, not even that. The scrum down was 10 metres centre field and they turned the ball over on 12 metres, 13 away. They've made 3 metres that whole set. Granted that Briley's loose pass.
11 minutes remain. There'll be Salford fans who would be hoping the hooter sounds, but Hulkington Rovers are enjoying the position they're in. Looking to prosper still further. It comes to Hadley.
Move back up.
Nice bolstering of their points difference here tonight after close wins against Wakefield and Castleford. Gives them a bit of platform to work from in the coming weeks.
Third. In the back, still third, nothing
Richardson.
Still third.
Still alive.
Still third, move 1-on-1. Oh! Police 4, back up, Brad! Goal 4.
Litton. Here's Warrea Hargreaves looking to barge his way ever closer to that Salford line. Manfully they hang on.
Hey, Brad! Hey, Jared! Hey, it!
There's a leg in the air, but sensibly nobody took much notice of that. Litton now puts a grubber kick in, bounces off a Salford player. Not played out, doesn't matter, because the gap has been made by that initial incision, and he finishes off with a try of his own, and 40 points are reached. as Hull KR march on.
Well, it was 40-0 in the Cup last year, and that Salford are staring down the barrel of the last 4 visits that they've came here have been nilled in 3 of them. And Jez Litton, yes, he gets a little bit of good fortune off the kick, but if you spend enough time down near your opposition line, he'll eventually come up with points. The loose pass from Briley just means that they were trapped and suffocated deep inside their own half. The kick there just favours and lands kindly into the hands of Jez Litton. There's a little bit of work to do here. Hankinson takes the dummy. There's not a lot he could do about it out there on that edge on his own with all them numbers in and around, but Jez Litton just reacts first and then dots over. They've hit the 40.
I was going to say, if he doesn't score, anyone of 4 would.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
You could perhaps forgive Salford almost for that try, because there's not a lot you can do about them. But the rest of the points we've seen, they could have done an awful lot about them.
Picture tells a story.
Back on now.
Richardson adds another 2, 42 points to 0 now. And there's still 8-9 minutes to go.
Just starting over 54 minutes off the bench last week. He's backed it up with another decent performance here tonight.
Sneed with the restart. Salford desperate at least to get some points on the board here tonight if they can. Remember, they've only got the 1 try from the 3 matches so far. Callum Watkins, that scorer in the opening couple of minutes against Leeds last week. Apart from that, they have not threatened opponents' lines.
Well, what they've got coming up in the league next, of course, sandwiched between Bradford Bulls in the Challenge Cup, is a trip away to Castleford and then Huddersfield. And if they go none from 5, it looks a very, very difficult season ahead.
Yeah, it is a longer season, isn't it? And you know, you shouldn't make too many judgments in the early weeks. But like you say, if they are at that after 5, then that's when the pressure really begins to build on the team and on the club.
Sure does.
Jared, we've got 7 minutes, mate.
This is a side that finished 4th last season.
Yeah. Plus 3rd that way. Thank you. Nothing silly here. Back up, back up, back up! Jared, Jez!
7 minutes to go.
Nothing silly, Jared. One! Loose! Quick! Hold the line now. He's moving forward. Oh, 1 good.
Riley along the line.
Just a push, that, yeah.
Touch and go, but only finds her shoulder there, Nikarima.
I think this is one of those times where, you know, Willie Peters will be so looking forward to trying to keep Salford at 0.
Who's together now?
6 minutes left to do so.
Oh, 3rd. Still 3rd.
They've played into form, haven't they, this year, Hull Kingston Rovers?
Yeah.
The back of this game. And again, you know, without over-egging the pudding about what's missing tonight, and Mikey Lewis and Tyrone May and the early loss of Evalds, you know, the coach would have been concerned at that stage, but
yeah, they're all competing.
I feel they've got away with it.
Great take there from Burgess. Yeah, you might have been concerned, but I've no doubt that, you know, when we talk to Willie Peters later on, he'll see the positives in it, and the fact that he's called upon his squad, he'll be really happy that he's got that depth and got that cover.
That look forward.
It sure did.
Who's together now?
Here's Richardson. Luckley coming back on the field. Sue is the player who's gone off.
I think Sam Luckley's had a decent game. It's very difficult when you're 18th man to sort of prepare as best as you can, knowing that in all probability you're not going to get a run. But I think the big Geordie's done well tonight. Jarrah Hargreaves now.
5 gone, 1 to play here for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Goal 5.
20 metres out. Oh, that's untied. It's a knock-on. Offside penalty.
Offside. Michael McAloran's kicked the ball.
It's all rather scrappy at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, Petter Higu just wasn't really looking. where the ball was, it hits his left shoulder, and then McIlroy just puts his foot on it, and he's in an offside position. That's why the penalty's being given. Mark Sneyd try and put as much as he can through this. They're going to get the ball back right on the halfway line.
Well, it's going to be a fascinating listen to the two coaches at the end of this game. Hopefully we'll be able to hear from them both. With the player of the match and coaches, be fascinating to hear. Paul Rowley never shies away from speaking honestly. We heard that before and after the game against St Helens. He does not shirk those responsibilities. Atkin goes left, Sneyd now. Kyle, you're in charge of picking the player of the match tonight. I know you're thinking about it. I can smell the sawdust burning.
It's very difficult. I think everyone of Hull KR, I don't think anybody's really stood out so brightly, Dave. But
well, Hulkingston Rovers fans will enjoy seeing that happen to a former Hull FC player. I don't think anyone else will get any enjoyment out of the disintegration we've watched here tonight.
On this side.
Tonight's player of the match, sponsored by Highways, is
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
19, Danny Richardson.
10 seconds, boys.
The announcers just took my thunder, Dave, as I pointed down to the player who I think's been the best player on the park. Again, I must stress that everyone in a Hull KR shirt has done incredibly well tonight. But I think Danny Richardson, given that his task, his involvement of where he's been over the last couple of seasons, to put the performance in he has done tonight, I think he's been fantastic in guiding this team around. So he's our bet for a player of the match.
Yeah, another one who's grabbed his opportunity. You know, out of contention in the first game of the season, loaned to another club, Huddersfield, but comes back and grabs his opportunity here tonight with the injuries, and that's the way a squad game goes.
Yeah, I think sometimes people, or perhaps fans, don't realise that the mental capacity it takes to feel like that you're not in the starting team and have to go out to other clubs and try and find your way and your purpose in a team. Well, I think Danny Richardson has showed Willie Peters that he's reliable here tonight.
And this is Richardson with a kick to the skies. Who knows what will happen when this comes down, given what's been happening so far, but that is Briley, and he's safe. But Hiku's all over him, and Salford at start with a good 5 or 6 players still to get behind the play the ball. Only 5 metres from their own line, but look at this from Dion Cross. Here's a bit of fighting talk from the winger.
A decent carry there from Cross.
Hankinson out of dummy half.
Good work from McIlroy.
Holford.
So often busy defensively, he misses that tackle there, but his effort to get out and just change the run of Nene MacDonald from where he wants to carry the ball up.
Still 4.
One to go for Salford.
Pender, 5. 40, yeah.
Sneyd just belts it.
High side.
Collected on the bounce by Broadbent. And searching this left-hand side straight away. Well, Burgess is coming like a steam train here and has found the initial gap. Briley does well. Just gets across there, and then Burgess, in his desperation to keep that alive, has thrown the ball to the ground. And Salford have it back.
Yeah, Burgess, he does everything so well. I'm pretty sure when he watches that back, he'll have perhaps a little chuckle, knowing that 42 points in the bag. I think the lads in the team review might just have a little giggle on that one.
Yeah, had it been 18 all, less of a giggle, but
absolutely,
the circumstances. 30 seconds remain of what has been a very good watch if you're a Hull Kingston Rovers supporter, but a very tough watch if you have Salford in your hearts. And maybe not if you're a neutral, maybe not the challenge, the tension, the drama that we were expecting at kick-off tonight. Sneyd with a kick. Burgess catches on the full. Go on, Joe, have another go.
He'll just come away a bit.
That will be the last carry of the night on what has been a pretty Wonderful night from Hull Rovers' point of view. A third successive win of the season in front of their adoring fans. But a night of utter misery for those in Salford shirts, and one that they'll want to quickly forget.
Yeah, so disappointing from Paul Rowley's men. Take nothing away from Hull KR. They've been brilliant tonight. But Salford, they've got some work to do, and do it quick, because this competition will not let up for them. And it's Hull KR who get their third win for the first time in a Super League competition in the opening 3 rounds, and send all these Hull KR fans home delighted with the start to season 2025.
Well, Hull Rovers will have no complaints, nor can anyone have any complaints about them, because